Hi guys, my name's Morgan and thank you for joining me today in the solo run through of The Bloody Inn. And I thought this would be a really good choice since we're getting very close to Halloween, a really fitting game for the spooky season. Now in The Bloody Inn, we are taking a trip back in time, back to the 1830s in France. And we are this dude, I believe, and we have our own establishment that others will be coming to stay at, travelers who happen to be wandering past our region, and we'll be unfortunately making sure some of those people don't leave our premises. Yes, it's quite a grim, nasty kind of game, but it is a bit tongue-in-cheek. As you can see, a lot of the artwork and stuff like that. So a lot of the people who will meet an unfortunate demise will be buried in our backyards, and we'll be looting their corpses. Now, because I don't want this video to get removed off of YouTube, you'll probably notice I'm going to be using a lot of synonyms to replace the word K-I-L-L, because yeah, I don't want to get this video removed. So if you're wondering why I'm not saying that word, that is why. We're going to dive into the game in just a moment, but I'll give you a bit of a run through as to how to play this game first. All right, let's take a look. All right, if you take a look at the board here, you'll notice a few different things. This tracker here is counting how much money that we have on hand. So there are two different ways that we can hold money. There's our cash, which we can have 40 of, and our tokens here, which are in denominations of 10, and these are the checks that we can be holding. Now, there's no limit to the amount of checks that we can hold, but we can only hold 40 francs in cash. So at some stage of the game, we're going to have to cash in and chuck a bunch of our cash into notes, and that's going to cost us an action. So that's something to be wary of. Sometimes you might want to get a lot of money on your turn, but it can sort of be a double-edged sword because you can't hold more than your maximums. You might end up losing some of that money, and it's a bit of an action economy type of game where you're trying to get as much done as you can in as few actions as possible. You will only have 2 actions per turn. Let's have a look at what some of those actions might be. So the next thing I'll note here is the cards in this card row here. So this is the cards that we're going to be interacting with mainly in the game. There are quite a number of cards that have different suits, different colors, and these are important for our actions. Some of these cards give you an additional benefit towards different types of actions and stuff like that. The first action that we can do is by adding any of these cards into our hand. This is called the bribing action. And to do that, you'll note that every card here has a number underneath the character here and above these little house symbols. This is the influence of the card. So to be able to add this card to our hand, we have to discard cards equal to the value of their influence. So if I want to add this cultivator to my hand, well, it's pretty easy to do. Since he has an influence value of 0, I can simply just add that to my hand, and that would be my action done. Otherwise, if I wanted to add this guy to my hand, his influence is 3, which means I need to discard 3 cards from my hand. However, if I'm performing a bribing action, if one of the cards in my hand has this blue symbol, well, he happens to be pretty good at bribing. So I would still have to count that card towards discarding, but that card would be added back to my hand since he's good at bribing, and I would get that card, right? Another action that I could do on my turn instead is I could be building an annex, and the annexes are how we bury corpses. We can't bury any corpses without an annex for them to be buried underneath. Let's say I wanted to build this one here. So this one here is 3 influence. Again, that influence is important for building annexes as well. So for me to be able to build this annex, I need to discard 3 different cards. Now, the red cards here, they're very good at building. So if I discard these red cards and then any other 1 card, so I'll discard this one as well, I can build that annex, okay? And again, because these guys are good at building annexes, they're going to go back to my hand, okay? Another thing to note about building annexes is that most cards will have an ability that will activate once you have built them as an annex. So this one allows me to gain 18 francs. That's a lot of francs, very, very, very helpful, but very difficult to do with a 3 influence card. And that is building annexes. All right, the next action that we have available to us is to assassinate someone in this card row here. So again, what is important is the influence value of these cards. Now, if I happen to pay a card that has this gun symbol on it, again, they're very good at killing people. They got a gun, so we can take out that guy. All right, his card flips over and that guy is out. He is out for the count, all right? Now, there is a money symbol on the back. This is the amount of money that we would get if we bury this person. So we don't get this money yet. We still have to bury this person. Now, to do this, I have to discard the amount for the influence. So the influence is very, very important for all the different types of actions that we're doing. So I have to discard 1 card to bury this card. And if I discard a card of the purple suit, that one will go back to my hand because they are good at burying. Okay, so I'll bury this one. And that means I'll be gaining 12 money. So 12 money plus 5 is going to bring me up to 17. Okay. So those are the main actions. I could also as well, if I want to launder my money, I can drop this down into denominations of 10. So I've only got 17, so I could drop this to 7, and that would get me a franc check, all right? Okay, there are some other rules, but we'll be exploring those as we get in the game. All right, let's dive in. Okay, the first thing we're going to be doing on every round is filling in this card row. Now, when it comes to filling in this card row, I can actually determine who goes where, which is important because one of these rooms belongs to me. Any visitor who visits that room, survives the night and leaves in the morning, they're gonna pay me for staying in that room. So most of the time, I wanna make sure that I'm putting cards in my room that I don't want to be touched or bribed or whatever. Okay, so let's start by flipping over cards. I've got the monk with 1 influence. I'm not particularly interested in that, so I think that might be a good go to go there. I've got a 0 going over here, a novice, the gardener with 3 influence, and another monk with 1 influence. Also to note that we start with 2 peasants in our hand. This makes it easier to be able to gain cards into a hand from the beginning, and at any point I can do a bribe action and get 2 more peasants into my hand. Now, getting 2 peasants at a time, really, really helpful, but they're not doing much else other than just helping you perform actions with other cards. So it's not something you'll be doing all the time. All right, I'm taking a look at some of these cards here. Now, the monk is an interesting card, and I've got 2 of them here.
Ask not for whom the bell tolls.
If I am able to build this annex, from then on, I can replace one of these keys with one of my own, which means during the leave visitor phase, I'll be getting more money. That's kind of helpful. But if I can, I really like the gardener.
Keep off the grass, sonny.
Now, the gardener's got 3 influence. He's going to be more tricky to get out there. But if I do build him up, each round, I'm going to gain 2 additional francs during the leave traveler's phase. So that's going to add up quite a bit. And I like that. I think I want to do that. So I'm limited to only 2 actions per round. If I want to get the gardener, I have to move quickly. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in 2 peasants to my hand. All right. Now with my 4 cards, I can easily pick up that gardener, but I'm going to be discarding quite a few. All right, so we're going to discard 3 peasants. Now peasants, when they're discarded, they go into the bistro, so I can pick them up again later. And now I'm going to add that gardener to my hand. So that was 2 actions. That round is done. All these visitors are going to be leaving, so I'm going to get 1 franc for having that monk stay in my room. Those cards are going to go. Now, another thing I hadn't mentioned, at the end of each round, I have to pay for the employees in my hand. So I've got 2 cards in hand, which means I'm going to pay 2 francs to hold on to them. If I cannot hold them, I have to discard them. So I really have to make sure I've got enough money lying around to pay them, and I cannot use these franc checks. They don't like that. They want actual cash in hand. All right, let's see what the next round brings us. I'm going to put the Viscount there. Now the Major, I don't think I'm going to be touching him, so the Major's going to go there. Peacekeeper. And then we've got the Count. Another thing to note, I had not mentioned yet, these law enforcement ones with the gun here, if at the end of the round they're still available and they're on the table, and if I have any corpses that are unburied, they're going to catch me. And in the multiplayer edition of the game, you get hit with a hefty fine. However, in the solo edition of the game, if you're caught with any corpses by the law enforcement, that's it. You're out. You lose the game. So I've got to make sure that I do not have corpses when they're out there. I think I really want to get this money in from the gardener as soon as possible, because the sooner I get this out, the more helpful it's going to be. So, boring turn, I know. I'm going to bribe 2 peasants into my hand. Okay, discarding 3 peasants will allow me to build that gardener. So, from now on, I'm going to get 2 francs at the end of every round, and that's going to be massive. And I didn't touch anyone here, so I'm going to gain another franc here. So 1, 2, 3, I'm up to 7 francs in cash. They're all going away, and nothing in hand. So I'm not paying anyone this round. Okay, we've got our next round of cards, and a really powerful card came up. This is the Brewer.
Fancy a brewski?
So from now on, you can bribe 4 presents simultaneously with just 1 bribe action, which is really powerful. However, this has 3 influence. I have no cards in hand. It's actually impossible for me able to grab this card now, because it would take me 2 actions to get 4 peasants in hand, and then the Brewer would leave. So that's disheartening. I really wanted that card, but we're gonna have to let it pass. I think what I might do instead is I'm looking at these mechanics. They make it a lot easier for you to be able to build annexes. It costs 1 less card to discard to be able to build an annex. And I think I want that. So to do that first, I'm gonna have to bribe 2 peasants back into my hand. I can discard 1 of those peasants, and I'll add that mechanic into my hand. So these guys are gonna go. I'm gonna get another 3 francs, up to 10. And I'm gonna have to pay for these 2 cards in hand. So that's bringing us back to 8. All right, let's take a look at what we've got on the board here. So I quite like this one here, the representative.
Business and pleasure.
So from now on, play 1 fewer accomplice to perform a bribe action. That's going to be very, very powerful. So I've got a peasant in hand. I'm going to discard that card here, add that representative to my hand. And because I've got this mechanic in my hand, he's very good at building, so I can discard him, but he'll go back into my hand to build that one. So from now on, if I want to bribe, I pay 1 fewer, which is going to be really handy. I'm going to gain 3 money at the end. 1, 2, 3, and then paying 1 for the card in my hand. This is quite interesting. The cards that are becoming available to me, they're starting to sort of show me that I might actually be able to get a lot of money without actually assassinating anyone, which is interesting. I've never actually played it that way. So maybe we can pull it off. Let's see, because now that I've got my representative, I can get my 1 influence cards pretty easily. So I could, for example, get the Viscount, build his annex with this mechanic in hand, and that's going to give me just 6 money straight up, and that's pretty good. Maybe I just do that. So I'm going to gain the Viscount into my hand because my bribing is easier now. And with this mechanic in hand, I'm going to build the Viscount.
If you want something done right, you have to do it yourself.
And that's going to get me 6 francs up to 16. I'm gonna get another 3 francs up to 19, pay 1 for the card in my hand, down to 18, and we'll send these guys on their merry way. Okay, another flop, and look, another representative. I really like where this is going. If I build another representative, I can just get any 2 influence card into my hand. Really, really powerful. I think I'm gonna do it. So we're gonna get that representative into our hand. We're gonna use that mechanic to build the representative. So now we are very, very good at bribing. We're gonna get another 3 money, up to 21. Pay 1 for the mechanic in hand, and let's see what the next round gives us. Looking for those juicy 2 influence cards now. Okay, a lot of law enforcement this round, so very good we don't have any corpses that are gonna get us caught out. This bishop here.
The Lord works in mysterious ways.
If I can build that, I'm gonna gain 4 francs per purple card that's in this exit stack. And yeah, there's quite a few currently. So that could be very, very nice. It's got 3 influence, so I need more cards to get it, but you know what? We're gonna gain 2 peasants into our hand by bribing, and we only need to discard 1 of them to add that bishop into our hand. So we're gonna gain 3 francs and then lose 3 francs, so we're breaking even this round. I'm gonna start putting a lot of purple cards in this area here now because I actually don't want to touch them, because having them in my discard pile now is very, very good if I do manage to build that card up. And I've got the concierge who's shown up.
Oh, yes.
So if I build that one, I can put a room service token onto one of these rooms, and whenever they enter that room, I'll get money equal to the influence. So I'm getting a really nice value engine now going. And I can just pick that card up since I've got my 2 representatives. So yeah, let's just grab that concierge now into our hand. And to build it, we can use that mechanic and the peasant. We're gonna lose that peasant, but that mechanic's coming back to us, and that concierge is now built. So we're gonna gain a room service token here. So whenever someone enters there, we're gonna gain money equal to that influence, which is really good. We're going to gain 3 francs, paying 2 for cards in hand, back to 21. All right, so the way the card's laid out, I've got a 2 here, so I'm getting 2 francs straight away. I'm actually considering bribing that brigadier chief, because then we can start assassinating some people and making even more money. So yeah, maybe I do that. So we're gonna take the brigadier chief. And I think we'll also take a novice as well. We'll have to find a way to discard them a little bit later. So we're only gaining 2 francs this round, and we're losing 4 from cards in hand, so back to 21. Okay, we're gonna get 3 money here, up to 24, and I'm quite excited to see this card. I need more red cards. I want to build more annexes, so I really need more of those cards in hand. Okay, so I can just take that distiller for free, since I've got the representatives, and you know what? I might actually bribe this count as well. If I can get that annex made, which is quite easy for me, then I'm gonna gain 9 francs straight up. So yeah, I'm gonna add that to my hand. All right, so we're gaining 1 plus 2, so 3, up to 27. I do have a number of cards in hand now, so I've got 6 cards. And that's gonna take us back down to 21. All right, I'm gonna gain 2 francs for that distiller in my room. And I'm getting a little bit greedy here, I know I am, but I kind of want that distiller. Oh man, I think I do. I know I need to start making some serious money. This deck is almost out, I've just got 1 card left. And once that deck is gone, we've only got one more time through the deck and then that's it. So I really gotta make the most of my time here. I'm quite happy with the amount of cards I got out, but at the moment I really need the money. I really got to get that money out there. So what do I do? All right, here's what we do. We're gonna start making more money. So we're gonna build the count, discarding 2 of those red cards, and they're gonna come straight back into my hand.
Oh, I suppose I'll get my hands dirty.
The count is going to gain us 9 francs, which is really powerful. That's going to bring us up to 32. Then, following that, I think we're going to make an assassination. So maybe we actually take out that distiller because he's got 2 influence. And they're going to be very easy to bury with these purple cards in hand. So I'm going to discard Brigadier Chief, and I don't know if I want to discard anything else. Oh, you know what? Maybe instead. Oh, this is a tough choice. This is a really tough choice. Okay.
A few moments later.
Okay, I've been agonizing over this, and I think what I'm going to do instead, I'm actually going to add the distiller into my hand. All right, so we're going to get 2 money for the end of every round. And we're paying a hefty sum for all the cards in hand. So we've got 6 there. So that's going to take us all the way back down to 28. Now we have only 1 card left, and it's a major. So I'm quite glad I didn't kill anyone that round. That would have made this really tricky, this part. Let's see, if I can make a quick buck, might be a good idea to launder. I'm getting $3 just for the major staying in there. Let's see. I'm going to discard all 3 of my red cards, and that's going to build me the bishop. That's my first action, and those red cards are coming back to me. And then I think I may be done building annexes. I have a lot. So I'm actually going to discard my mechanic, distiller, my other distiller, and I think I'm going to assassinate the major. So we've got our first assassination happening. So all those cards are gone and the major has been taken out. Our first target was a very high priority one. Now, we are still going to gain 2 money at the end of the round, but then we've got 2 cards in hand, so that's going to come back. Oh, actually, I didn't have to pay quite so much because I do have the Brigadier Chief. So instead, I'll keep one of those distillers in hand and I'll lose one more franc. All right, so we'll shuffle that up and we'll see what the next round brings us. Okay, this is really not good. We've had 3 law enforcement show up this round. So this body, I have to get rid of it this round, otherwise I'm losing. If it was only 2 law enforcement, I could maybe get rid of them somehow, but it's not gonna happen with 3. So what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is I will launder money. So I'm gonna go down to 3 francs. I'm gonna get 3 franc notes. Okay, then using the 3 cards in my hand, we're going to discard all of those. I'm going to get my novice back to my hand, and this one we're going to bury, and I've got so much room here. I'm going to stick it under my player aid, which, if you didn't know, also is an annex. So you start off with a free annex, and that's going to get me 26 francs. So now I'm up to 29. Plus I'm getting 3 at the end of the round. 1, 2, 3. And these cards are going to be leaving. And I'm going to pay 1 for the card in hand. All right, next round. All right, gaining 2 for the distiller, up to 33. Now, the good thing is that high profile target got me a lot of money. So I'm ready to launder again. But before I do that, let's make some more money. or the potential for more money next round. So there's a peacekeeper here. He's going to make it easier for me to take out some targets. So I'm going to bribe that peacekeeper into my hand. And with that peacekeeper, I'm going to take out the mechanics. The mechanic's gone. All right, we're gaining 3 money up to 36. Paying 2 for cards in hand, back to 34. Okay, the major is staying in our room, so he's going to get us 3 francs. We have to launder. So the first thing we're going to do is launder our money. So we're getting another 30 franc checks. There we go. We got to get rid of this corpse because the major is sitting right there, and I just don't have the firepower to take him out. So let's use our novice to get that buried. And that would be another 12, bringing us up to 19. In the leaving phase, we're going to gain another 3 money, up to 22. Losing 2 for cards in hand, back to 20 again. All right, I've placed the monk here, so we're going to get 1 point there. I could have put the Brigadier Chief, but I actually think I want to get him. I want to start taking out more targets. So for 2 influence, I'm going to get that Brigadier Chief into my hand. And, you know what? The burying potential of that monk might be helpful as well. So I'm going to add that monk to my hand as well. We're going to gain 2 money up to 23. And we've got 4 cards in hand this time. So we're going to actually drop back down to 19. We're starting to run out of time. So I've got to get as much money as I can. All right, with the Archbishop there, I'm going to gain 3 up to 22. And the most straightforward option is to take out all the level 2 influence characters. Since I have 2 attacking cards, 2 burying cards, I could go for that Archbishop, but the Abbot is going to be much easier for me. And it's going to be more effective for me to do that. So let's do that. So we're going to take out the Abbot, and we're going to bury said Abbot underneath the Gardener's Annex here. That's going to get me 18 money. That's going to bring us all the way up to 40. I would love to launder money, but that took 2 of my actions, so I won't be able to do that. I'm going to gain nothing from those people leaving. At the end of the day, I'm going to have to pay 4 for those visitors. Okay, I placed the Prince here, which means we're getting 3 more money, up to 39. I'm tempted here because we've got a Brigadier and a Monk. I could add those to my hand, and now I can take out level 3 targets every round. But if we look at our deck, I've got only a handful of turns left, so I don't know if that's the most cost-effective way to go about it. But also, these targets here, 12 coins, not super lucrative. Well, I have to launder anyway, so we're going to launder for another 30. 3 more franc checks. And what the hey, I'm going to add this Brigadier into my hand. So the next number 3 coming up, we're going to be taking him out. No questions asked. Okay, so that Brewer has come back around. He's going to get us 3 more money, up to 12. And I can use my 3 law enforcement to take him out, which I think I will. So he's taken out of the picture. Now I'm going to have to bury that corpse right now because that Brigadier is sitting right there. So I'm going to use my Monk and my Novice and my Peacekeeper as well. So Peacekeeper's gone. He's not great at burying, but I'm going to get that number 3 buried. That's going to get me 26 money. So 26 plus 12 is going to be 38. Next, we're getting another 2 money and then paying 4. So dropping back down to 36. All right, we've got our Abbot here, which is going to give us 2 more money. Let's look at cards. Okay, we've only got one more round. Keeping in mind that all the purples in here are gonna help us out. We wanna launder all our money before the end. This is gonna be tricky. So if I kill that abbot now, well, I wouldn't do that. I'd have to launder, then I'd kill this one. I have another 2 influence there. So if I kill that one, I'd have to bury and launder, which I can do. So I think that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna launder first for another 3. So down to 8, we're gonna get 3 more, whoops. Frank checks in hand. We're going to use our, hold on a second. We've got a brigadier here. We can't do that. We'll lose the game. You cannot do that. Oh, that makes things a little more tricky. So instead, I think we're gonna have to take him out, which is gonna hurt our overall score, but it is what it is. So we'll take out that brigadier. So he's out of the picture. All right, but we are gonna gain another 3 money to 11 and paying another 4. So we're back to 7 again. And in our last round, we've got the Count and the Baron. All right, so we're getting another 2 more money. It actually makes sense to get rid of the cards in hand. So I could use this Brigadier to bury this card. This is gonna give me 12 money. So that will be 9 plus 12, 21. Then I'm going to launder, which means we're paying to 21. Okay, we're at 21 money, and we're getting 2 more Frank tokens. Now, I'm gonna get money at the end of the round, so up to 3 to 4. Now I have to pay for these guys. And I'm actually wondering, because I actually don't want these purple cards in hand. So I'm gonna check if it's an optional or not. Okay, I was just checking to see if I can actually refuse to pay my purple cards, because I want more purple cards in my discard pile. However, I believe I must pay the cards if I can. So I'm gonna have to pay for those accomplices. So we're gonna we're gonna lose 3 down to 1 Frank. All right, so we're now at the end game scoring, and remember, we're going to gain 4 Franks for every purple card in the exit stack. So let's take a look at how many we have in there actually. Okay, we had 9 purple cards in that exit stack. So 9 times 4, that's gonna be 36. Yeah, 9 times 4 is 36, which is gonna bring us up to 37, which is quite good. So having another one in there would have helped, but hey, it is what it is. All right, let's count out our score. So be right back. Okay, so our total score for this run through, combining our Frank checks and the cash on hand, was 187 Franks. And taking a look at the rule book for the solo rules, that makes me a demonic innkeeper. So we've done very, very good. This is, yeah, I haven't scored that high before, so I was very, very fortunate that happened. Hey guys, you made it this far. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like the video, because this will ensure that other people can see the video and enjoy it also. I'm looking at making a lot more high engagement videos like this with the sound effects and the visuals to keep it really engaging. So if this is something you like, make sure you subscribe, because there's more of this coming. And also, I've got a playthrough of Summoner Wars with my friend Alistair, which I've used a lot of the visual effects also that you would have enjoyed in this one. All right, thanks guys, have a good one.